Recording has started. So we want to do the solution to our last assignment. Then we will now learn new things after them. So I want to build a calculator. Then with our calculator we have, let's say we have a div. Here we're going to place our results here. Or let's call this coin. So this is our screen. You can use input if you want to. Then let's say we have buttons. So someone wants to join. So we have one. I'll just copy paste. Then let's do this. Plus minus division and multiplication, then equal to sign. So I want to assume we have these buttons. What we're going to do is when I click on this button 1, I want to see 1 on the screen. Then when I click on 2, 2 should join it. So let's do that together. I'll say on click show 1. So let's get a function called show 1. So what this is going to do is this. Whenever I click on 1, I want 1 to be displayed on the screen. So I can say screen dot inner text equals 1. So this one will be sent to the screen. So when I click on this now, I can call this show 2. Then when I click on this, it's going to display 2 on the screen. So I'll call this show 2. Now let's look at the EU we may encounter with this approach. When I click on this, it will display 1. When I click on this, it will display 2. Let's run it on the browser. So when I click on 1, oh, it's not displaying it. Let's look at it. What's going on? In the console is not sending back any error, meaning it's not a syntax error. Okay, let's do something. Okay, the error is this line. Screen. Oh, let's call this another term. I'll call this my screen. Yeah, I think there's something in JavaScript called screen. That's why it's not working. So let's move on. I'll remove this now. So when I click on this button, it will display 1 on the screen. And when I click on this button, it will display 2 on the screen. 1, 2. But the problem we have with this is that we want it, instead of replacing it, we want it to concatenate it like this. Don't remove the previous one. Add it with it instead of overriding it. Currently, it is overriding whatever it says on the screen. But I want to tell JavaScript that, say, don't override it. Instead, add it with whatever you see on the screen. So what you're going to do is, instead of saying +1, we say plus equals 1. So this is the same as saying, it's the same as writing it like this. So get whatever is on the screen, concatenate 1. Now note that this plus is not going to add, it's not. It will concatenate. Remember I discussed with us in one of our classes, I said that whatever you get using inner text or inner HTML or value will come as a string. It's going to come as a string, not as a number. Whatever you get using maybe inner text, inner HTML or does value will come as a string. So this is actually a string. So what you're saying is this: whatever is on the screen, this plus is going to concatenate one with it and set it back. So we are going to do the same thing here. Let's use the shorter version back. So I'll do the same thing here. Whatever is on the screen, concatenate 2 with it and set it back. Any question?
No question.
Can we move on?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go to the browser. I'll set the results. So it's fine now. Next is we want to do that of 3. So let's go to the quotes. So next is the plus, minus, division and multiplication. This is show 3. So I'll call this one show plus. Then this will be show minus. Then this will be show divide or something like that. Show division. And this will be show multiplication or show multiply. So let's create these functions. Show minus. Show division. Show divide. Show division. Then lastly show multiply. So the show plus, instead of concatenating these two, it's going to concatenate the plus sign with whatever is on the screen. Then this will concatenate the minus sign. If you don't put this in a quote, it's going to throw back an error. So show division, then show multiplication. So what you're going to do is, what happens is when you click on this button, show plus, it will concatenate this plus with whatever is on the screen. So let's go to the browser and refresh it. 12 plus, so it has concatenated it 1. So lastly, we want to make this equal to sign. We want to make it work. So that when we press this equals to sign, it's going to evaluate it and give us the results. Let's do that together. I can say calculate function. So let's get a function called calculate function. What it's going to do is to evaluate whatever is on the screen and set it back. So I'll say calculate function. Now, before I run this code, I'm going to do something. Are we together?
Yes, we are together.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to say, remember we discussed something called eval. And I told us that the eval, we evaluate whatever you put here. And it also has the ability to evaluate a string. Meaning, if I put this like this eval will actually return 48. So, and remember that whatever you have inside, whatever you collect is in inner text, inner HTML or value will come as a string also. So,
Yeah.
let's do something. I can now say alert evaluate my screen dot inner HTML. That is, get whatever is on the screen. Let's assume I typed this 12 plus 1. So this is going to come to JavaScript like this. It's going to come to JavaScript as 12 plus 1. This 12 plus 1 will come to JavaScript as 12 plus 1 because we are getting it using inner text. We now say it should eval this. Evaluate that 12 plus 1. So since eval has the ability to evaluate a string, this will give us 13. It's not going to concatenate, it will give us 13. So we are now saying alert these results. So when we say my screen does inner text, that is whatever is on this screen, whatever is here, we are bringing it here, then, and we know that it's a string, evaluate it, then alert the results. Any question?
No question.
Okay. So let's run it. I'm going to say, let's say, divided by 3. This gives us 4. It's alerting 4. But then the purpose or the goal is not for it to alert it. Instead, is to bring it back inside this container so that it's going to be on the screen. So instead of using alert now, I remove this alert. I'll just say my screen dot inner text equals to this. So this is going to evaluate whatever is on the screen and to set it back. So 12 minus 21 equals to minus 18. Any question?
No question.
Okay, now let's move on. Next is we want to add the clear button so that we can clear everything on the screen. Let me quickly close these pages. Okay. Let's add the clear button to clear whatever is on the screen. Button, I think, is usually something like this. Maybe capital letters still like this. Click clear button. So when we click on this, we want to remove everything on the screen. So I'll come here and create a new function. Okay. Then we can again say my screen dot inner text, set it back to empty string, and that's all. So when you click on this button, it will set that my screen dot inner text back to empty string. I think it's the simplest of all. So 13 times 2 equals to this. When you click on this, it has cleared everything. And well, it depends on how you want to build your calculator anyway. You can set it to 0. Set it to 0. So when you click on point clear, it's going to just put 0 on the screen. Just depending on how you want to build your calculator. So when I clear it, it will just put 0 on the screen. Next is, I think this is the assignment I gave us. But let's talk about how to do the delete button. Do you have any question before we move on?
I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir. You can go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. My question is this. You know, in a calculator, as in the conventional calculator,
Yes, sir.
when you press 0, you know that 0 cannot how will I put it now? When you press 0 and then you press 1, that 0 will disappear. There is no way you can have 0, 1, 2 except you use decimal 0.1 or 0.2 on
Yes.
calculator. So I tried doing that. I was unable to do it. In my calculator, I can when I press 0 and 1, everything will display on
Okay.
on the screen, which I don't really want to, because that is not how a normal calculator functions. So I don't know if you can actually shed the light on that too. I don't know.
Okay. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Now.
Hello, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a question, sir.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay. My question is in a normal calculator that we do make use of, probably I want to press 1 2, that is 12, and I mistakenly press 1 1. I mistakenly press 1 1. So I want to delete the one at the back and replace it with 2. So
Okay.
in that case, how can I do it? Because I noticed that anytime I'm doing something like that, it will clear when I click on my clear button, it will clear all the figures. You understand?
Okay. Okay. I get it
Yes, sir.
now. Okay. Thanks for the questions. You've asked really good questions. Let's pick them one after the other. Pastor Weye, what you said? The question is a good question, but the thing is this: for now, we cannot do that because we need to use something called if statement. We need to write it, and we are here to treat it in class.
Oh,
So for
okay,
now,
okay,
we won't be able to do that one.
okay, sir. Okay.
Now, for the second one, we are going to look at it together now, and we're going to see how to go about it. Well, I won't actually do it for us, but I will explain something that will help us to get it done. Let's go into that. Now, I want to add the delete button. Mr. K also has the same question in the group. Maybe I want to delete the last character. Instead of saying this, let me create a new file. Now, there is an inbuilt function in JavaScript called slice. Slice. This function has the ability to slice a string. It can slice a string. Let's see how it works. Imagine I have a string like this, variable name equals to Taiwo. I can say alert name dot slice. I can put 2. Let's discuss the meaning of these 2. You see, in JavaScript, a string, you know this is a string, Abby.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
A
yes, sir.
string, thank you, sir. Thank you, ma. A string is an array of character. That is, for you to have a string, it means that you are bringing a lot of characters together. Now, the first character is at position 0. The second character is at position 1. The third character is at position 2. The fourth character is at position 3. The fifth character is at position 4. What happens is, it starts its own counting from 0, not 1. I come again. In JavaScript, a string is just an array of character. Let's say I have a long string. Let's say I have dictionary. This D is at position 0. Then this I is at position 1. This C is at position 2. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
So on and on like that. This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this Y is at position 9. Is at position 9. Now, the way the slice now works is this. When you say name.slice and you put 2, that means start your cutting from position 2 to the end. This is position 0, this is position 1, this is position 2. So it's going to start cutting from C. D is position 0, I is position 1, C is position 2. It is going to start cutting from C, then to the end of this. Let's run it and see the results together. Sorry, it's another page. Can we see that it started cutting from C?
Yes.
Now a question for us. If I put 5 here, what am I going to see on the screen?
Onari. It will start from O.
Good, thank you, sir. It's going to start from O. So we have ordinary. Good,
Yes, ordinary.
thank you, sir. We have this result. Now this slice can take another value. It can take another value. The first value is the starting point. Remember I said if I put 2, it's going to cut from C. If it now has 2, the second one is the ending point. End at 6. We are saying start from 2, end at 6. But there is a clause here. This 2 is the starting point. It will include 2. This first value here is inclusive. That is, it is going to include it. But this second one is exclusive, is not inclusive. Meaning that technically it's like saying 2,6 is more or less like saying 2,5. That is, it's going to include 2, but it's not going to include this 6. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
What
sir.
you are saying here is start as 2 and end at 6, but it's not going to include the character as this number 6. The first one is inclusive, the second one is exclusive. It will include the character at number 2, but it's not going to include the character at number 6. So meaning that it will include 2, 3, 4, and 5. Do we get it?
Yes.
2, 3, 4, and 5. So at the end of the day, if you run this code, it becomes this is 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to say CTIO. Although n is number 6, is not going to include the character there. Let's run it. CTIO. Let's look at another example. So if I say 1,7, what am I going to say?
So, yeah, CTION 1, 2.
You said?
Sorry, I just returned.
Okay, sir.
ICTION.
ICTION.
Perfect. ICTION. Let's run it now. Correct. Good. So that is how the slice, this slice works. Then we are not yet done. What happens is JavaScript also has something we call length. You can say, look at something. I will comment this out for now, and I will use this short character so that you get it. Taiwo. I'll say alert name dot length. This name dot length is going to tell me the number of characters in this variable name. It's going to tell me the number of characters in this variable name. How many characters do we have here?
5.
5.
5.
So this will alert 5. So alert 5. So let's do another thing. Let's put let's say polo name, and I have this, and I say alert name dot length. This will alert the number of characters there, which is 10. Okay. So do you understand this now? You can now combine these two, this slice, with the knowledge of this length, in order to be able to do this delete. Remember, whatever you have here is a string. Is a string. So to make that delete work, combine these two things that I just taught you, combine them together to get it done. Do you have any question?
Take that line again, sorry.
Sir?
Please take that line again. I was
to
away
make
for a
this
little
delete
while.
work, we want to add a delete
Okay.
button here. So that, let me bring up my calculator. So imagine I have this and I click on this button. It's going to remove the last character. If I click on it again, it will remove it. So like that. That's what we want to do.
Okay.
So you are going to now combine the knowledge of these two and think about how to go about it. But I've given us the knowledge. So now think about how to apply it to your work. Any question?
Yes, there's a question.
Okay, so
I have a question.
Now,
okay.
now, I am just trying to gamble with what I'm seeing here, especially with. Now, I was away for a period of time, but when I came back, I met you talking about slides, picking from a particular location. So now, in this case, now, if you are going to be deleting, are you going to create a variable to put the length or to set with the length become a variable? I don't know if I'm making sense at all.
Oh,
Now,
you
for
need.
example, in
Okay,
okay,
sir.
okay, so now okay, maybe the slicing. Sorry, the slicing now. For example, the place I met you, you were trying to teach how the slice works. Now you specify a particular range or location where uh, you want to slice out a particular part of the string. Now in this case, I need to specify that is the last character. Won't it require me to give the condition of last? I don't know if my question is even clear
Okay.
at all for myself.
Don't worry, when you start working on it, you will get it done. But I've given us everything we need. Just if you have any question, you can read more
Okay.
on this slide. But then with these two things, you are going to get it done.
Okay.
Seriously,
Okay. Okay.
you get it done. Just start thinking about it. Start working on it. Immediately you start working, idea will start flowing. Whatever
Okay.
comes to your mind, test it out. Don't worry, your system is not going to blow. Test it out, run it.
Okay.
If it doesn't work, go back to it, test it out, run it, on and on like that.
Okay. I also had I had a challenge. I don't know if we have the chance to talk about a challenge we had.
Okay, you can go on, sir.
Okay. So I had the challenge of now if you check normal calculators, after you have used the the equal button automatically comes with the function that makes it clear when you want to start a new operation. So for example, I say 4 plus 4 and it is 8. Instead of if I want to do 7 plus 5, I expect it to clear my current 8. Or
Okay,
how am I thinking like this? It looks like my thought is not even clear.
okay,
So basically, once I've completed an operation with the equal button, I want it to clear it and reset everything after showing me the value. If I want to press a new number, I want it to reset it to 0. So I tried to use the code inside my clear function. I tried to add it to my equal button, but I'm having the challenge of
okay.
it's not
Again,
working. Don't put it like that.
thank you, sir. Now we require knowledge of if statement also. When we get to if statement, you're able to solve that. We are going to solve all of these things. When we get, Mr. Pastor Way also mentioned 0. That is, instead of concatenating 0 with whatever I place, on and on like that, all those two will be solved with if statements. When we do if statement, our calculator will be much better than it is now.
Oh,
Much
okay.
better.
If I think what you just said now, maybe it will cater for a question I also have, a second thing. I tried to work on it, but I had to stop it because so that I can submit my assignment. Now, I saw that I can do just anything. At a point, I was trying to cause trouble for my work. So for example, I began to say 6 minus 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 4. 4 plus 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 7. And then I can't even remember, maybe it was not evaluating it with the equal button. It was not responding. I don't know if control structures is what we need to. I was thinking the problem is using a var. If I'm not using a val, I think that will work. But then I don't know if we need to still wait for the if statement.
Okay, to make use of this 6 plus plus plus.
For example, I began to just play with my calculator. So I'll just say 6 plus 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 7 instead of 6 plus 7.
Let me see why this one we even bring up.
6 plus plus plus.
It's not even allowing us
Plus.
to do that. So
But for me, I did not put a condition that will not allow me to use an operand or
okay,
an operator twice.
when we get to if statement also, we are coming back to this calculator and make it much better than it is now. We're coming back.
Okay.
So can we move to today's work? The major thing we want to learn today.
I have a question.
Okay, man.
So my question is, this symbol after C, after clear,
This one.
after C.
This.
Yes. How can we get that symbol? And again, this multiplication sign, the one that most of us use is the one on our keyboard.
Okay. For the multiplication sign, you can use your X, letter X, X, Y, Z.
Okay, I can use letter X, but whenever it's being displayed on our on our input tag, something like that, it display that asterisk sign.
Yes, I think everybody understands asterisk. Then, if you don't want it to display asterisk, it's going to take more work from you. Using is this. The eval function recognizes asterisk. If you want to replace it with X, letter X, it's no longer a mathematical expression. Let's say I press 6 times 5. It's going to, if this is X, it becomes 6x 5. So the eval function will not be able to evaluate it successfully. That means that brings us to that causes it's going to cause you to do another round of work, because you will have to start saving the variables one after the other. Of course, you're going to use it to check it. Go to the strings, check for the position of this X, remove it, and replace it with asterisk while evaluating it at the background. The user will see X, but at the background is going to work as star. It will still work as star at the background, but it's going to cause you to do a lot of work, because you need to search through the whole string, look for where this letter X is, replace it with asterisk in order to evaluate it. Do you understand?
Sir, not clear enough. It was breaking along the line.
Okay. What I mean is this. The asterisk is the shortest way to go about it. That is, once what you have on the screen is asterisk. This is what JavaScript understands. Eval, let's say 8 times, you can see this is asterisk. 8 times 5. Now what you want to do is you want to replace this asterisk with something like X, like this. Java does not understand this X, meaning that even if this X is on the screen, even let's say you have a div like this and you have 8x 5, and you tell JavaScript to evaluate whatever is inside this div, it won't be able to do that because this is X and not asterisk. It won't be able to do that. So meaning that at the background now, you need to find a way of replacing when you get to JavaScript. Instead of just saying eval, what I mean is this. Let me give this an ID. I can call it display. If it's like this, I can easily say alert display dot inner text, and it will give me 40, because this is 8 times 5. This will give me 40. Let me comment out this. Oh, sorry. Eval, sorry, put eval. Evaluate 8 times 5. This will give me 40. But the moment you replace this with star, with anything, maybe like x, like this, 8 times 5, it's not going to work because this is not, this eval will not be able to evaluate this. It will just give you NaN or so. It's not even working. It's not giving me the results. So what that now, that's going to cause it to do a new, it's telling me it doesn't understand this star. So it's not going to cause you to do a lot of things. You are going to search through this, look for the position of this x, and replace it with star in your JavaScript codes. But like I said, what we've done is the easiest way to go around things. So don't worry, when you do statements, if you want to go to that route, you can. If you want to, well, I won't advise you that you do, because you still have a lot of other projects to do. So I won't advise you that you find a way of replacing this. Maybe if you have to anyway, you can. But I think leaving it as asterisk is fine. Any question?
What about the first question, sir? The symbol after that C, the clear button.
You use your what's it called? So you can search to font awesome. Font awesome. See if you can
Font
have
awesome, yeah.
have a beautiful icon to do it. You can. If you can get a beautiful icon on your font awesome. I think you did font awesome in CSS, Abby. And
Yes, sir.
okay, good.
Yes, font awesome.
So you can search through the icons there. It's just an icon. That's not to be done with JavaScript. This symbol, where is it? It's not JavaScript. This display is just it's HTML and CSS work. JavaScript is only concerned with the logic here.
So I think instead of this icon, we can use a kind of letter, delete, DEL, to still perform the same function.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be this icon. You can use delete. That is DEL. As instead of this, to just to save yourself of what matters is the logic, is the functionality, not actually what you put on the button.
Thank you, sir. So can we move on?
Yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Tonight we want to look at a topic called parameterized functions. Let me write it out. Parameterized function. Parameterized function. Now, the way parameterized function works is this. You remember we talked about dry. Who can tell me the meaning of dry?
Don't repeat yourself.
Don't repeat yourself. Now, parameterized function make this happen. Instead of repeating ourselves, you won't have to repeat yourself. You won't have to. Let's see how that works. Whenever you realize that multiple functions look alike with only little difference between them, then you should start thinking about parameterized function. Let's look at examples together. Let's say I have a button, and this button I can say when I click on this button, display name, so let's create display tire. Greet, let's use this greet tire. So create a function greet tire alert. Oops. Alert. Good evening, Taye. How are you doing? create another function called greet Kenny. Copy, paste, call this Kenny. So when I click on this, I want to do the same thing, but this time around it's going to be great Kenny. Copy, paste. Instead of Taye, this will be Kenny. That's the one more. I will copy this. That's a great Ido. Then copy this function, paste, change this to Ido. Then so I'll change this to Ido. Now, will you agree with me that these three functions are technically doing the same thing?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
The only difference is this is displaying Taye, this is displaying Ken, this is displaying Ido. So whenever we have such scenario whereby multiple functions are doing almost the same thing, then you are allowed to use parameterized function. Instead of creating three different functions, because we are actually repeating ourselves. We are. So instead of repeating yourself, you can use a single function, or you can empower a single function to do the work of the three functions. You want to empower just one function, and that single function will do the work of these three functions, so that you won't have to create three different functions. Do you understand what you're about to do now?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go now. So, what you're going to do is this. We are going to remove these two functions so that you only have this a single function. But this single function, when I click on this one, it will display good evening Taye, how are you doing? When I click on this one, it will display good morning Kenny, how are you doing? And when I click on this one, it will display good morning Ido, how are you doing?
Morning or evening?
You said?
Your change Taye was evening. The others are morning. Is that what you really meant to say?
I can't tell you, sir.
Taye,
Yes.
good morning, Taye. Then for greet Kenny function, you said sorry, for Taye you said good evening, Taye. For Kenny and Ido, you said good morning. Is that what you meant to say?
It's an error, slip of tongue. When I click on Taye,
Okay.
it will display good evening Taye, how are you doing? When I click on Kenny, it will display good evening Kenny, how are you doing? When I click on Ido, it will display good evening Ido, how are you doing? Do you understand what we're about to do now?
Yes.
That single function will do the work of the three. Now, question for us. Since the three of them are calling on one function, if I click on this Ido, what will I say?
Ido cannot respond yet now.
Look at the codes again.
Oh, okay. It will be good evening, Taye. How are you doing? The same
Good
thing.
evening, Taye. How are you doing? That's what
Yes.
it's going to do. Now, it means that what we want to do is that we want to empower this function to somehow know the one we clicked on. Again, since the three of them are going to call on the same function, this function needs to find a way of sensing the one we clicked on. You'll be able to know that, oh, I've clicked on this one and not this one. And you'll be able to know I've clicked on this one and not this one. Because if it's unable to know the one we clicked on among the three, it's going to do the same thing for the three of them. Do we get it?
Yes.
Good. Again, we want to empower this function to be able to know the one we clicked on, because if it's unable to know that, at the moment it doesn't know the one we click on. So we want to empower our function to be able to do that. And once we're able to do that, then it's really like, oh, I clicked on the first one, oh, I clicked on the second one, oh, I clicked on the third one. So what we're going to do is this: when we click on any of them, that particular one that we click on, we send a message to the function. The function can now open the message and know the exact one that we clicked on. I come again. What you're going to do now is this: when we click on any of them, it's going to send a message to the function. The function can now get the message. With the message sent, it will now know the one we clicked on. Let's move on now. So let's start with something very simple. I'll put 3 here. I will remove this for now. I'll put 4 here, and I'll put 5 here. This is the message. When I click on this 3 will be sent to this function. When I click on this 4 will be sent to this function. And when I click on this 5 will be sent to this function. Do we have any question?
Not yet.
I have a question, sir.
Okay, okay, ma'am.
Is it compulsory we use 3, 4, 5, or we can use any figure?
But we can use anything, not even necessarily number. You can use anything. You can use a string, you can use a boolean, or other data types. But I'm only starting with this.
Okay.
Okay, a quick question. Arguments and parameters, are they the same thing?
No, we are going to discuss it now. We're going to
Okay.
discuss it.
The reason why I asked is anytime you try to create a function, it will put argument inside that bracket before you remove it. That's why I asked.
Okay, okay. We'll discuss it now. Discuss it. So please, we are going to end this class around 10 p.m. or earlier than that.
That's all right.
Okay, thank you. Let's quickly move. Let's move on. Next, when I click on this, when I click on this, I said that it's going to send this to this function. But this function is not equipped enough to be able to receive this message. Yes, this 3, when I click on Taye, this 3 will be sent to this function. When I click on Kenny, this 4 will be sent to this function. But unfortunately, the function itself is not equipped to receive the message. It's like you are sending a message to someone that has misplaced his or her phone. So even though the message is being sent, there's no way the person can receive such message. So next is we want to equip this function with the right tool to receive this message. So you are going to put it here. You can put anything there. Whatever, this is just a variable. All the rules that guide your variable declaration will guide whatever you put here, meaning that you cannot put a number here. You can't. You can't. Do we understand?
Yes.
Now, when you click on this now, this 3 will now be sent as the value of num. When I click on the Taye, this 3 will be sent as the value of num. Again, why this is necessary is this: without putting anything here, even though you are sending a value, this function cannot receive that value. So what you're going to do is you put a variable here. It can be anything. It can be anything. Just ensure that it obeys all the rules that guide variable declaration. So when I click on this 3 will be sent as the value of a. So a becomes 3. If I click on this one, this 4 will be sent as the value of a. So a becomes 4. And if I click on this one, this 5 will be sent as the value of a. So a becomes 5. Any question?
No question yet.
Can we see how it looks on browser, sir, on the browser?
So we can now say alert a times 2 Let's run it on the browser. If I click on the first one, 3 times 2, 6. If I click on the second one, 4 times 2, 8. If I click on the third one, 5 times 2, 10. Show you what?
Yeah.
Yes.
Move on.
So you can send more than one value if you want to. Let's say this is 8. Let's say this is, anything, 12. Let's say this is 15. So again, there's a problem here. We are sending 2 values. When I click on the first one, we are sending 2 values. But this function is only equipped to receive 1. So if you want it to receive the second one also, you need to put another variable here.
Okay.
So when I click on the first one, 3 will be sent as the value of A, and 8 will be sent as the value of B. Sure, I understand.
Yes.
When I click on the second one, 4 will be sent as the value of A, and 12 will be sent as the value of B. When I click on the third one, 5 will be sent as the value of A, and 15 will be sent as the value of B. So instead of saying 8 times 2, we can say 8 times B. So when I click on the first one, this will give me 24. When I click on this one, this will give me 48. When I click on this one, this will give me, I think, 125 or so. No, 75. So let's go. 24, 48, 75. Let's move on. Can we proceed?
Yes, except that
Yes.
we have not used the inner the HTML values like Taye, Kenny, Idowu. We are just using the
Okay, we are going to
values.
use it, sir. We will use it, sir. Use it, sir. Now, Mr. Jacob asked a question the other time. Now, what's the difference between a parameter and argument? You see the values there, whatever you put here, they are known as parameters. These 3 and 8, they are parameters. But these A and B, they are arguments. Shall I understand? The ones here, in the function call, this is the function call. The ones here, the values here, they are known as parameters. Why the ones in the function definition, this is the function definition. These variables here, they are known as arguments. So these are parameters and these are arguments. Although in the course of the training, I'll be using them interchangeably. But then that's how it actually works. These ones are known as parameters and these ones are known as arguments. But in the course of this training, I'll be using them interchangeably. I may use parameters, I may use arguments. Any question?
No question for me.
Okay, let's move on. Now, next is, we can now say, pass Taye here, come here, pass Kenny here, come here, pass Idowu here. Remove this. Instead of saying good morning Taye, this becomes good morning plus name. So when I click on the first one, Taye will be sent as the value of name. So this becomes good morning name. You know the value of name is Taye, Abi.
Yes.
So this becomes good morning Taye, how are you doing? When I click on the second one, Kenny will be sent as the value of name. This becomes good evening Kenny, how are you doing? When I click on the third one, Idowu will be sent as the value of name. This becomes good morning Idowu, how are you doing? Oh, let's space it a bit. Let's just put a space there. So that's going to be fine on the browser. So let's click. Good morning Taye, how are you doing? Good morning Kenny, how are you doing? Good morning Idowu, how are you doing? Any question?
I have
No
a question.
Okay, man.
Okay.
Why do we need to put the operator plus before and after that name.
Why?
Like, why do we put the operator
Okay, this plus.
plus, yes, before and after the name?
Okay, look at this. If I say good morning name, how are you doing? This will just be read as ordinary string because I'm still within this quote. Let's run it. Good morning name, how are you doing? Good morning name, how are you doing? Good morning name, how are you doing? What happens is this: when I click on this one, this time will be sent as value of name, but the name here is a string because I'm within this quote. So what we are trying to do is this: we are trying to close this quote. So we've closed this quote. Now this name is no longer inside the string, so it will be seen as variables. This will now be seen as a variable, but these ones, the rest are also strings, because if I leave it like this one will throw back an error. There's no variable called how, there's no variable called there's no variable called you, there's no variable called doing. So these ones will throw back errors. So in order to undo that, we can put all of these ones in quotes also. And remember, okay, so these ones now are in quotes, these ones are in quotes. Remember I told you that you don't just jump from a string to a variable, and you don't just jump from a variable to a string. You need to tie them together, you need to weld them together. In order to do that, that's the essence of the plus. So we don't just jump from a string to a variable, and we don't just jump from a variable to a string. Do we understand?
Yes, she understands.
Okay.
Miss Moji.
Let's move on. Sister Moji, are you getting it? Do you understand this explanation? Hello? I doubt if she's with us. Maybe she. Please,
It could be
Mr.
network
Kulelawa,
issues.
are you getting it?
Network again.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Mr. Tai.
Yes, sir. Are you getting
You
it?
just called.
Hello.
I'm with you, sir.
Yes, sir. Are you getting it, sir?
Well, I'm trying. After the class, I'll go and watch the video again. But I'm just trying to pick one or two things.
Sorry, the network here is very bad. I cannot hear you.
Okay. Sir. Pastor, where are you getting it, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So we've seen how to add parameterized function, like to add parameters to your function. These ones are parameters. Whatever you put here will be sent as the value of this. Whatever you put here will be sent as the value of this. Whatever you put here will be sent as the value of this. In our next class, we are going to talk about something called default parameter. I should do that tonight, but then I just feel I don't want to talk about too many things at once. Default parameter. This will take a very short time in our next class. I will just quickly explain it before we move to the next thing. And that will be an avenue for me to refresh this parameterized function with us also. I'll first refresh this, then I'll talk about default parameters. So the way parameterized function works is that whatever it allows you to use a single function to do many things. So a single function will now be able to do, once you realize that you have similar the work of those functions are similar, then you should start thinking about how to use parameterized function. Now, assignment. These ones, I don't know if you notice that these things are similar. This is similar to this, 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 is okay. Yeah. So I don't want to see all of this in our code. Ensure that all of these function, all of this, they are reduced to just one function. A single function will be the one to do this, this, all the numbers and all the signs. I mean, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. All of them, both all the numbers and all the signs, we just call a single function. Since their work are similar, the only ones that are not like that is this is not like that, and this is not like that. But all these ones, they are doing the same thing. What they are just doing is get whatever is on the screen, concatenate whatever is at the right hand side with it, and set it back. Do we get it? I think Mr. Jacob has done that part. That's what he used for his assignments. Uh,
Yeah.
Again, what you're going to do is all of this, remove them, make it, make all of these things to call only one function, just one function. All of these things. Then meaning that at the end of the day, our codes will have one function to handle all the numbers and signs. Then this will be the second function. Then this clear button will be the third function, and the delete button that we just talked about, this one, will be the fourth functions. So meaning our codes will have just four functions. All of this we call on one function. The equal sign we call on another function, making two. The clear button we call on another function, making three. Then the delete button we call on another function, making four. Do we have any question?
None for me, sir.
Okay. Okay.
I don't have any question too.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Happy New
Thank
Year
you very
in
much, sir.
advance. We are not going to meet on Monday due to the public holiday.
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir. So our next class will be next week, Friday. Please let's ensure we get the assignments done.
Thank you very much.
No problem, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Good night,
Thank you very
everybody. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Have
sir.
a nice night. Thank you.